What is happening, best ever listeners? This is Matt Faircloth, and welcome to the best ever CRE show. Grateful that you guys are here listening to this program, listening to me. And if you guys are grateful that I'm here talking to you, then do yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel, like this channel. And if you've got anybody in your network that keeps bugging you, talking about those two little letters that are really, really big, AI, I want you to forward this show to them, because this show is a very special segment of the Best Ever CRE show, all about AI and how you can build your business and make lots of money with AI. So I want you guys to do yourself a favor and do us a favor too. Forward this show to your one friend that you got. We all got the one friend. They all talk about AI all the time. They're looking at recipes on ChatGPT. Those people, forward this episode to them, because this is dedicated to the AI curious in the world, but also how you can implement it. So let's hop in. And I'm bringing in, I can't even talk about a co-host or a guest or whatever. This is just like a compadre here who's become a good friend of mine now. Guys, this is the founder of Best Ever. This is Captain Best Ever. This is Joe Fairless. Joe, welcome. Do I welcome you to the Best Ever CRE show? Or just come on in, whatever.
Yeah. I've been here all along, and I like being the captain. That captain's kind of cool.
He's Captain Best Ever.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Maybe we should get him an outfit and a shield and everything. I don't know. Right. So, Joe, you have decided to drive into the AI curiosity land and discover more about AI. What I get, everybody's curious about it. Right. And I came out to visit you a couple of weeks ago, and, we got a bunch of people from Sin City together and played a big poker game, and it was amazing. And I remember you and I were smoking, because again, you get a bunch of guys together that are going to play poker. What do you need? You need smoked meats, right? You need a lot of meats smoked on a smoker, right? So Joe and I have this big pork butt that we have to smoke. And what do? We pull out AI to figure out what to do. And AI told Joe and I it was a really good pulled pork that you and I made with no leadership, no recipe aside from you and me talking to our cell phones on how to do it. Right.
That's right.
AI is everywhere in our day-to-day life if we choose to let it. But you've decided to explore how it can become a part of real estate investing. Why? What inspired that? Because it's one thing to look up a recipe there, but it's a whole nother world to think about how you can build your business with it. What called you to that?
I'd say, and first off, this is a terrible day for me to do intermittent fasting, talking about the pork that we made. My stomach is grumbling.
Well, I won't bring it up again, I swear.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'd say that I've been a student of AI. I'm taking a class on it now through Coursera. It's some Vanderbilt professor and learning about it more from an academic standpoint. And then, obviously I've been, like most of us, been on ChatGPT and toying around with that, and, basically replacing a Google search. And good luck with Google and how they navigate this. I know they've got their own AI engine.
Interesting.
But it's, for me, there's been just, this is the time for AI integrating AI into our business, for us to truly get the disproportionate rewards. And the reason I say that is because despite how much we know about AI right now, there's so much untapped potential that we could be doing with AI, number one. And number two, a lot of people aren't even incorporating it into their business. And I think of it as as like a scene from the movie The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. And in that movie, I haven't seen it since it came out, so bear with me on.
I haven't seen it ever, Joe. So talk me through.
All right.
Yeah.
So in the movie, there's a bunch of people with swords, the samurais, and then they come across, and they're doing awesome. They're conquering things and they're living their lives. But then they come up to battle against another group that has bullets and a machine gun, and they lose to the bullets. And right now, because in that scene, the technology was drastically different and disproportionately better, and immediately had one side conquer the other side, even though the other side's bunch of conquering or living their lives, wonderful stuff. this is that moment in business where you've got swords against a machine gun. And
that is so interesting.
And we
analogy.
have got to adopt AI so that we're on the machine gun, not with the sword. And that's how I think about it right now with AI. And there's so much that, people say, well, you could do this with AI, and yeah, you could do this and this. And there's not a lot of, but this is how you do it.
Right.
These are the steps. Let me share my screen with you and show you how to do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Conceptually, yeah, all this stuff could happen. But I personally, selfishly want to know, how do I do that? Yeah. And that is why the AI show where I interview people specifically is focused on what skill set or what skill sets after this interview is over will the audience and myself know how to do, because you have shown us how to do it. We're not talking, we're talking some concept here, but then you're showing us how to do it. And that's the beauty of this show. And that's why I've enjoyed, I've got 5 to 7 interviews under my belt so far. I've enjoyed learning how to do things and then having the guests share their screen and show us.
Yeah. I mean, and we're getting to it, right? Like, so Best Ever listeners, what Joe's led the charge on in Best Ever is, as Joe said, there's a lot of people telling all of us about how amazing AI is and how it's going to change things. And there's so many different conversations out there about it, Joe. But I commend you for like really getting into the application side of it, because it's not, it's great to talk about how it's going to change the world. I get that. And it is an amazing feature. I've lost weight using AI as a weight coach and as a gym coach, and it's told me exercises to do and all the different things, right? There's really not much you can't ask it. So why not ask it how to build a better business? You've led into that at Best Ever through this new segment by learning about how AI will benefit commercial real estate investing, right? So
that's right.
Tell us what some of the ahas you've gotten in this. Give me the nuggets. I know we're not sharing screens and talking through it right now, but what were some perhaps like, mind-blowing things like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you could do that with AI. What were the ahas you had on this journey?
Well, I think first is understanding a couple principles that are important to have in our mind, and then talking about the tactics. So one principal thought is that it's important to think about all the repetitive tasks that we do on a day-to-day basis or on a regular basis, because those repetitive, regular tasks are perfect for AI. So that's the first question to ask ourselves. So whether it's, before every meeting, I want to know who I'm talking to and how to connect with them. Yeah. That's something that's perfect for AI to go into ChatGPT and to create a project and to educate on what you're looking for in a relationship when you meet people, what business you're in, and then all you have to do is put in a person's name, and voila, it's got all the different categories of ways to connect with someone before a meeting.
So I want to unpack that. I have done some interviews here at Best Ever CRE, and there was one in particular with a guy who had major mortgage broker, had all these mortgages going around. He ended up running he was a bad actor, but then kind of came around and now works for the FBI, right? So he was a bad guy, now a good guy. He came over to the good side, and I interviewed him for Best Ever CRE, and I had, of course, the bio and all the stuff, right? So, and his name was Matthew Wolf, by the way, for those of you guys that want to listen to the interview. It's about 6 months ago. Crazy interview. But some of the questions I got from AI, because you get these bios from people when you're doing an interview. And Best Ever listener, if you have your own podcast, that's awesome. Joe and I would love to come on them as guests, first of all. But second, if you're interviewing someone, you're going to get a straight to the middle of the fairway bio of what they want to talk about. But AI can really put a good twist on that. And so when I went into this interview, Joe, I put his bio into AI and I asked it to research this person, because he was a public figure, is a public figure. He was on Dateline NBC, the whole thing, right? So it threw out there, ask him if he has any remorse. You're right. And that's not That's not going to be in a bio. Okay. That's the kind of making these suggested questions. And he and I went into this deep, deep angle that AI can give perspectives that are beyond what's right in front of you to do. And so I asked him that. And we went into this whole thing about while he was in jail, his mother passed away. He wasn't there when that happened and stuff like that. And you want to talk about being able to go next level with someone in relationship and in building things out by using another perspective. It's almost like an assistant that can go do research for you and offer up ideas, because it's almost got personality. I'll walk back the word personality, but it's got a bit of a human intuition in it, I think, that it would think to ask a question like that. So I validate that. And if you're running interviews, you should certainly be asking AI for questions to ask people in that. And also, I'd never thought when you meet a new person, when you're meeting a new contact, ask AI what you should be talking about. And that, I love that.
Man, that's such a powerful question to ask.
Yeah.
He
hit me with he said, I lost time, and that was, like time is one of the most valuable things we have. And because of AI, I had that perspective to ask. I would not have thought of that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's the question. I'm asking that one towards the end. And I got him with it, and we went into this deep thing. So that's tip number one, best ever listeners. When you're interviewing someone or meeting with a new person, run what you have through AI, because certain stuff, you made a little allusion to this, that Google is maybe a little bit behind the times on Gemini with it. But look, ChatGPT, you can upload a lot of things and have it process stuff. So you could upload a lot of things that you know about someone to ChatGPT and then ask it to research that person on top of it. And it probably could give you a good list. Have you used it? And what are some insights you got doing that?
Yeah, I have. And it's a process where it's only as good as the information that you feed it.
Yeah.
So the more information you have on someone, the more accurate it's going to give you some angles into the conversation. I've had some where I didn't have a whole lot of information on the person, but I thought I had enough, and then I open up the conversation, congratulating them on selling, a sanitation business. Like, I've never been in sanitation.
No.
Oh my! Has a family member? Nope. Okay.
No.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm Joe. Let's start over.
Let's bring it back.
So you've got to refine the model. And
maybe they had an Italian last name or something like that, and it just assumed they were in sanitation.
That's right. That's right. I'd say another thing that comes to mind, and this really. So I mentioned two things to have, two principles to start with, and then we can talk some tactics. The other principle is that, and this is what Vanessa Alfaro, who knows her stuff with AI, by the way, she's a heavy hitter with AI, Vanessa Alfaro. What she mentioned, and this blew my mind. I was like, oh, really? Okay. She mentioned that if you're still searching through ChatGPT, like you and I were doing with that pork, by the way, Matt, if you're still searching through a ChatGPT, that's so 2-3 years ago, according to her. She said, now you should have AI agents who anticipate your needs and proactively give you the information.
Oh my.
And how to put that together, she talks about in our interview. I will not pretend to be able to connect those dots on this and during this conversation. I am still a student of that.
I gotta watch that interview. So she, on the interview, she taught how to build an agent that is intuitive enough to think ahead of you. She
told you the piece. She told me and the listeners, whenever the episode airs, the components that are needed in order to build the agent for intuitively anticipating your needs on a certain subject, like investor relations, for example.
Yeah.
So it's something that is the future. We're talking about AI. Well, this is AI 2.0. This is instead of reactive, it's proactive. Because I think I'm going to have a conversation with Matt. Let me type in to ChatGPT project that I have created, Matt's name. No. That's old school, which is where I'm at right now, is old school.
Mm-hmm.
That's old school. New school is, let me read this report that my AI agent created for me proactively, because they have access to my calendar. They know who I'm meeting with, and they know what I want to know about that person before I meet with them. And they're already sharing this report with me.
That's incredible.
So it is completely hands off. It's, the difference of, I want to go on a trip, tell me some places that are good. And this is what I like in my vacations. And then it gives you some options to book it for me once you find something. Once you find the right spot, and make sure you have the right price. And I like a window seat, that's where we're headed. I don't know when we'll get to, more adoption on the AI agent front, but that's where I want to be. That's the space I want to be in. That's where I've got my attention on the AI agent side. And
I feel like, let me see if you agree with this. Here's what I'm hearing you say, and maybe this is what's occurring to me, right? There are levels of everything. There were levels of the internet. I mean, I'm old enough to remember an internet where you could not transact. You could not purchase on the internet. The internet was only for research. Then there became Web 2.0, where you can transact, you can buy things, and that's where Amazon comes in. And now it's further along. Maybe we're Web 3.0 now, but AI 1.0 was a way better version to search things up, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a question, 5 years ago, I got to Google it. That's it. I got to Google, tell me everything you know about Joe Fairless. And it's going to give me maybe Joe Fairless, the chiropractor that has a shop in, whatever. But I can teach it to be more intuitive and do a better search. That is AI 1.0. 2.0, as you said, it's more proactive. It knows a bit about you and your agenda. It can think ahead of you and anticipate needs, right? Now, I've learned that AI, up until today, it's very tough to get it to take real measurable action for you. So you said AI agent, go and take the action to go on Expedia and book me that flight. Find me the best deal, go on Expedia, Kayak, and Priceline, and, find me the best deal, track it, get me the best price on that plane ticket, right? I believe AI 3.0 is where it can take measured action for you. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. What a great way to think about it. Yeah, good analogy too.
Yeah.
It's getting better and better. And as more people adopt it, it will continue to get better, because they'll have more of a database to pull from and learn from. Yeah. And it's a great analogy. The internet compared to AI and the evolution.
It's interesting. I was looking on something in ChatGPT, and I asked it to email it to me, and it said it couldn't do it. It said it right. I said, as of right now, I can't do that. Hopefully soon. And it told me, hopefully soon I'll be able to do that for you. So I know that means directly that the programmers are looking for a way to do it, but I'm sure that it knows that it can't do it, but it should be able to soon, and everything like that. So very interesting. So one more time, the name of that person that was building the AI agents out. So best ever listeners.
Vanessa Alfaro, best ever listeners. And I'll give you guys access to how to get all these interviews that Joe had with these AI experts at the end of this interview. So stick around for a second. So Joe, give me another. So that's a great moment you had. Give me another one that you had in having all these conversations. I mean, just this conversation is, about 20, 30 minute conversation. This conversation could be all we need to create a month's worth of marketing content.
Yeah.
And that's what Mike Montague told me and showed our listeners, again, when the episode goes live, how to do that. 1, record a 20-minute conversation. 2, get it transcribed. 3, generate a title and summary. 4, an outline of everything. Make sure, everything's good there. And then 5, you can expand it to a 1,000 to 2,000 word post. And then from there, use different systems like Gamma, for example. It's $20 a month to create LinkedIn carousels and marketing decks and LinkedIn copy based off of that. here was one of the interesting parts for me. And that is, we could have said, take a recording of this conversation and then transcribe it. And then the next prompt would be, create a month's worth of marketing content for me. Yeah. You could skip ahead to just do that, right? But what I like about this approach is it's iterative. And by iterating each stage, so we went from record a call, transcribe, generate a title and summary from the transcription. Okay, make sure you're good with that. Then create an outline. Okay, make sure you're good with that. And then create the blog post. If you're taking the time to do those two steps, the generate title and summary and then an outline, then it's going to look a lot less like a robot did it, because you're manually influencing things, and it's going to look like true human content versus something that we're all going to start getting really good at, and that is sniffing out the AI content. And I think by taking a couple steps in between, you're really going to elevate the quality of your content that you have.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant. I mean, just brief anecdote, Joe. At my company, at DeRosa, we've embraced AI as well, as I'm sure you have at Ashcroft too. And we leaned into it to start sending out emails regarding deals that we were doing and stuff like that, right? The person implementing the AI was just putting in some prompts and some influences into AI, giving it some directive, even uploading our entire webinar deck and everything like that, like the actual PowerPoint. And it read through all of it, and it said, the person said, give me like 10 emails I can use that are intriguing to pull people to this thing. Great. So it does it. We didn't realize that he didn't give it enough leadership, as you had said, and enough human interface. So he just dumps all the stuff into our CRM, and our open rate got cut down to a third of what it used to be, because there's AI sniffers out there already. You know, there are AI like seeking missiles out there on Gmail and things like that. And so it started pumping a lot of those emails over to spam. And we talked to our CRM expert, and she looked at it and said, yeah, you have like 4 exclamation points in your title. If you have multiple exclamation points, that's automatically seen as an AI flag. Any email that has emojis in it is seen as an AI flag, because people know that AI sees emojis to be popular, maybe among younger generations, but for the most part, they're not professional. But AI doesn't know that, and AI is going to put emojis in, and it's going to go multiple things, and it's going to put in things that aren't automatically sniffed out by a spam blocker. So without enough leadership, AI can certainly go the wrong direction. And so AI is not. There's people out there that are afraid of AI replacing humans. I have zero fear of that, because I think that you still need human interface. It's certainly going to make our jobs more efficient, but it's not going to replace us, because it's never going to be as good as a person. You know, it's not going to have that, you know, real desire to know what people like, people don't like. Do you agree with that, or do you think that do you think there is that human interaction requirement for AI forever?
I think that AI could certainly get to the point where you won't know if it's if it's over the phone.
It'll get better enough
over the phone, or even maybe video. You won't know it.
Yeah.
But I think eventually there will be a point where, to combat that, there will be some sort of authenticity, or you got to authenticate a video, like, hey, this is a true person. Yeah. Similar to, you know, if the FCC regulates advertising, like, you've got to disclaim this is an ad, right?
Right.
Or this is a paid sponsorship.
That's probably all they need to do. It's funny. But some of those that have followed me on social know that I'm an absolute superhero junkie, and so I'm very looking forward to the new Avengers movie, Doomsday, that kind of thing. And I got duped the other day, Joe, because I watched a movie trailer I'm air quoting now, for the new Doomsday movie and everything like that that's coming out. It was a complete AI fake. It was a deep fake video, and I got clickbaited, and I had to watch a stupid Toyota commercial before I watched the video. So they got it in my pocket too. Not my pocket, but they made money off of me, off of my eyeballs by me watching some stupid deepfake video. And I'm like, oh man, you got me.
That happens to me with Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn videos on YouTube where
Really?
those are really common. If you just search Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn and you listen to their stuff, for me, because I've listened to so much of their stuff, I can tell pretty quickly if it's AI and it's not really Jim or it's not really Tony, just by certain things that they say or perhaps mispronounce. But it's going to become more and more of an issue. But yeah, eventually they'll just have to have. Hopefully, there will be some sort of badge system or disclaimer.
That's a good idea. That's maybe the one law that the government should have around these things.
Yeah, absolutely. There should be. Yeah, there absolutely should be.
Yeah. It'll learn how to write better emails. So you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am misunderstanding it. That it probably will get to be hard to discern what's what, and it will learn to write better emails.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Give me one more nugget from your work.
I'd say the last thing I'd say actually has multiple components to it, and that is with training. I'll do it just training. So training your team. Matt, I think it's Matt Stieg. Ryan Stieg. He, in my conversation with him, he talked about how he gives I forget the program, so you have to listen to that interview. But it's a program where there's an AI voice that you can train, and it will have conversations with your IR team, and it will pretend to be different avatars of investors. So a doctor, an engineer, an entrepreneur, and then you can practice on them. And you can get them graded and learn how your team's doing. So you feed it your company information, you educate it, and then you give it the different personas or avatars, and then you can just go back and forth talking to it, and you can train your team. You can train your team on that,
like voice talk to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Just have a conversation with it, and it's going to ask those challenging questions if you train it to, and it's going to have the persona of those different people. Because as we know, and as talking to investors, a chemical engineer is going to have different questions than an entrepreneur. Yeah, and it's just a good way to get your team prepared before going out in the wild and having those conversations on human beings. And I'll say one very tactical thing separate from that I wanted to mention that I thought was pretty cool is Whisper. WSPR, I think is how is the company. It's not spelled WHISPR. It's like WSPR. But when I describe it, you'll be able to search for it. Someone was using Whisper throughout their conversation. It was great. It was one I had recently. And all it does is it transcribes. But there's so many different apps I imagine you're in, Matt, that everyone's in throughout the day. And some of them do or don't have transcription. And all Whisper does is it's a keyboard shortcut. So whenever you want to start transcribing, you just push some magical keys on your keyboard, and then you talk, and then it transcribes, and then you release the keys, I imagine, and then you're done. And it's really good at correcting your language on there. And he was showing us, and that wasn't even the focus of the conversation, but he started doing, I was like, what are you using? And he mentioned Whisper. And I think it's free also. I mean, a lot of this stuff's free, at least now.
They're trying to get to relevance.
Face model.
And it's one of those things where, like, I remember online ads were and I follow a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, and he still talks about this, that, online ads used to be, the exposure you got for the dollars you would spend was so oversized for dollars. Now it's changed a bit. A lot of people are doing online ads and everything like that. But it seems like the AI world is one of those things where they're trying to make markets. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of competition in the space. So it's so affordable.
Yep.
Do you think AI will become more expensive at some point as market leaders start to rise, as OpenAI and whoever figures it out, Google or some company you and I haven't even heard of comes into the space? Does it become more affordable, or do you think that because of how fast it's moving, the price of it stays down forever?
Does it become more expensive, or does the price stay down? I think the price stays down just because there's so many players and maybe a couple invaluable tools that I'm not aware of, that haven't been invented yet, are a premium. But if you think about what ChatGPT can do for you, and it's $20 a month. Yeah. I mean, they could probably put a zero at the end of it and add some bells and whistles to make a super premium version. And a lot of people are going to subscribe to that. So I think it's so inexpensive right now.
It is now. That's what I'm getting at, is like,
I know. I think it will be. I think it will continue to be inexpensive, relatively speaking, except for a couple outliers that have some premium service, which probably have to do with that 3.0 that you were talking about with the AI agents, where we were discussing. I think when someone cracks the code on, okay, here is your AI agent. What do you spend on a personal assistant? Okay, this person is this AI is so much better than the personal assistant. They're more reliable. They can't do certain things, but they can do these other things flawlessly.
Oh yeah. You and I would pay a lot more zeros on $20 if I'll give you some things I'd like to see, right? If it's able to take material actions, like I said, book flights, that kind of stuff, or just do some of the stuff that an assistant would typically do. Also, AI, as you said, it's already interfacing with the investor relations folks for one of your guests. If AI could start making outbound calls and be a voice, like actually speak to someone and carry on a material conversation,
it can.
Probably, I can, but I want it to identify itself and be even whatever the next level is beyond. Because I've talked to AI before.
That was in one of the interviews I did on the show, and that's already recorded, where we heard that AI voice, and I think it was with Ryan Stieg. I don't quite remember, but you actually hear how the AI interacts with people.
My wife has ChatGPT on, I use it on written. She has it on voice. And she was sitting there with my father-in-law, who's, God bless him, he's 78 years old.
Yeah.
Different generation. He was listening to her talk to ChatGPT, and he was like, that sounds like a real person you're talking to, because the ChatGPT is using euphemisms that you and I would use. Like, oh, I understand. I see you don't quite understand what I'm trying to tell you. Let me try again, and it would say things. It would begin sentences like, yeah, got it. Okay, good. Things like that you and I would say. Now it's so not robot and that. So going back to what I would pay for, right? Actions, outbound calls, intuition, thinking ahead of my next steps, and like just making my actions that I need to take more just easier, and knowing what my goals are. And like, really, that's what it needs to know. What are your goals? Where do you want to go in the next 1 week, 1 year, 1 month, right? And let me intuitively build this thing out for you, and probably do some things without your permission, and then confirm that I've done it right for you. So I don't know. Maybe that's where it goes. But I would pay $20 times a lot of zeros for something like that. I'm sure you would too. So maybe that's where the price tag goes in, is when the action
AI agents.
The equation.
That's
AI
where
agents.
that's what, and when it stops being, it's just like marketing 101, right? People, sure, you can teach someone how to do it, but what they really want is you to do it for them.
Yes.
And
that's really what it is.
So it's as old as business, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's why
I can teach you, or how about I do it for you? And that's where it's going to get a premium with AI agents doing it for you.
Going all the way back to the early times, man, back in the day when a business owner was someone like running a blacksmith shop, and he probably was doing all the work himself. At some point, you bring in an apprentice, you duplicate yourself into that person. You take what you know and convey it into another human, and you have to pay them to do the thing that they're supposed to do. But because they're a human, there's certain compensation rights that they want to have. They need a certain amount of money to do what they need to do. So maybe this AI thing really is what we're looking for is a means to convey our goals and our ambitions and our knowledge over to a thing that can go and take action for us, which is really what an employee or a teammate or an apprentice might be. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what AI is. Maybe that's what we aspire AI to grow into.
Well, it certainly would be helpful to have those things done.
At least a few of those, right? Have you had anybody on the show yet talking about finding deals? Because that's what I think it's what anybody that I talk to in the real estate world, we all want to find more deals, especially in today's market. Not so much yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I think that it could, I mean, if you gave it, do you think it's possible to have AI?
I'm sure people are using it. I just haven't had anyone. I've done, I think,
if you best ever listener
interviews.
If you best ever listener are doing deals, finding deals using AI, I know you're out there, listener. So go to bestevercre.com and apply to be on the podcast. And I think Joe would love to talk to you on his segment, because we all want more deals. What do most real estate investors want? They want more capital, more deals, and we've already talked a bit about, hey, AI can help with the first one. But deals, there's got to be a way to use AI to scour databases. If you can give it access or have it look into public records, or not for nothing, ask it. ask ChatGPT, how do I use you this is what I do. So there's your homework, best ever listener. Pull up ChatGPT or whatever your favorite Grok or whatever your favorite app is, and ask it how it can help you find more opportunities for your real estate business. See what it says. I'm sure it'll give you an idea. So Joe, give me any other predictions you have for AI or desires for where you'd like to take your AI segment for best ever.
I think we covered it all. If you are doing, as Matt mentioned, if you are doing something in AI with AI that is helping your commercial real estate business, then go to bestevercre.com and fill out the application and tell us what you're doing that you'd like to also show me and other listeners how you're doing that.
Yeah. And if you guys would like to, again, this is not on the podcast circuit. This is on one of the many, many outlets that Best Ever has, including its newsletter and its social media feeds. This is on the Best Ever YouTube channel, guys. So you guys want to go to YouTube, right? And type in Best Ever CRE. You will find the phenomenal, thriving Best Ever YouTube channel there. And you can go and subscribe to that, and you will see Joe's conversations with all these AI experts and thought leaders that are there in the AI space. You want to, Joe, they want to be watching this video too. They can listen as well, but they also want to watch it because you've got these folks that you're really going deep with them, showing you a bit of how, and that's why I love how curious you are.
You need to see it. You need to see it. That's why it's on YouTube. You've got to see the screen shares. You've got to see what we're talking about.
Yeah. And what I like about what you've led this thing to, Joe, is that you're not just having someone talk theory. As you and I have maybe gone down theory trail a little bit here too, because I can't help it. But you're going more into actual implementation of AI into a real operational real estate business. So you're letting these guests, you're causing these guests to really show the tool and then how it can be implemented. So guys, you're going to walk out of those videos that Joe has there a better, smarter real estate investor with AI in your pocket with real tools that you can implement today. That is our goal here. So YouTube, go to YouTube, Best Ever CRE, subscribe to the channel, check out the videos that are coming out, I believe out once a week on that channel. And we will see you guys there. Joe, thank you for coming on to my segment, Next Level CRE. Grateful to have you here as always. I have to have you back on, talk a little bit more shop about some mind-blowing ideas that are coming your way about AI coming into the real estate space and making our lives better, helping us make more money, helping us take our businesses to the next level.
I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Best Ever listeners. Like I said in the beginning, make sure that you like this podcast on your podcast feed. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your podcast feed, and make sure you share this, like I said, to the friend you have that's constantly sending you AI ideas and sending you all kinds of AI inspirations. Share this with them, because let's share the wealth about AI and share the wealth about the great conversations that are having here on the Best Ever Network with those in your friend circles. Until we talk to you again, guys, have a best ever day.